Okay, hello and welcome to my TED Talk. We are in the proper setting for a serious sit-down video, the car. We have cold brew in hand, and even though we're going to be sipping on some coffee, we are going to be spilling some tea on therapy, if you will. And for those of you who think it's funny that I call my mental health updates tea, oh girl, there is tea. Now I'm doing this as a standalone video instead of just sprinkling it into a random vlog because I'm going to be talking about some kind of more heavy topics, and if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, this is your warning. Okay, so let's get straight into the tea. I'm getting a new therapist. Some of you in the comments might have seen this coming, but I don't think that you would ever have guessed why. So let me just kind of like recap my whole thing. I started out a weight loss journey. I have this binge eating disorder that's really just getting in the way of accomplishing any kind of weight loss. And I decided to start therapy. I was trying really hard to do the harm reduction strategy, which if you don't know what that is, that's you're still allowed to binge. You just binge less and then try to replace it slowly over time with other things, like healthy things to do instead of binge eat. So yeah, that's my whole shtick. So let me kind of go over my last session with my therapist and let you know what had happened and what she said that ultimately made me decide to quit seeing her. So in the last session that I had with her, I was expressing that I was confused and I was feeling like I wasn't really getting anywhere. I was kind of like distressed, mostly for the fact that I had just binged right before the session. So I was like in that whole shame cloud. I don't know how to describe it, but I was expressing to her that I'm so confused. I don't think the harm reduction strategy is working for me. I feel like I keep trying to binge so I could practice the strategy in order to get better faster. Logically, I know that that's not how that works, right? And so I'm telling her I don't think my personality type is suited for this specific method. Is there anything else we can try? I want to get better, but I feel like I'm getting worse in a way. So I expressed that to her, and then she starts explaining to me that there's a couple of different methods. You can go the emotional route, find what's the root of the problem, address that, and then hopefully that resolves the binge eating problem, or the behavioral route where you're like trying to put habits in place like, okay, this is who I am now. I'm a person who doesn't binge, and you keep like reinforcing those habits. And then I told her I really don't know why I binge, because right now I feel bloated, I feel uncomfortable, I feel so sick. I don't feel good about myself at all. There's no reason for me to do it anymore. It's not even providing me that comfort. And that's when she said the thing. Now, first, I think it's very important to preface this. I Googled this woman when I first got matched to her. I made sure she was qualified. I made sure her licenses were up to date, stalked her LinkedIn. She has doctor before her name. I think if I'm remembering right, she has like a PhD or something. She teaches a class at a university. I was literally looking her up on Rate My Professor to see what like the students had to say about her. Positive stuff. I vetted this woman. I didn't let her just blindly therapize me. The words that left her mouth were, why don't you try chewing your food and spitting it out? Yikes. I paused for a second and then I asked her, isn't that another eating disorder? Am I mistaken? And then she kind of did like this nervous laugh, right? But the laugh that I do all the time when I'm filming, literally that. And then she explains, oh, but you would still be eating. She says she doesn't want me to feel sick. She doesn't want me to feel the bloated feeling, the uncomfortable feeling, like the thing I was explaining about like the binging. And I just kind of sat there and I was like, is it an eating disorder? I don't really know. Therapy has me like 50 ways confused in the head. Just I doubt myself all the time now. So I just let it go. And then I was like, no, I don't really want to do that. I think spit is really gross. Like spit really grosses me out. Plus it's like wasting food. And this is toward the end of our session. We talk about like setting goals for the next week. We wrap it up. We schedule another appointment. That's the end. Couple days pass. I keep thinking about what she said. That just doesn't seem right. I'm like, how is that a healthy relationship with food if you're chewing and spitting out your food? And then so I Google it. And lo and behold, there it is. It's like a thing. It's an eating disorder. It has a fucking acronym and everything. CHSP, I believe. There's people seeking help for this. It's kind of like related to bulimia. I'm I'm sorry, but did you just tell someone with an eating disorder to do things that would give them another eating disorder? In what world is that good advice? The more and more I think about it, the more pissed I get. Because I was kind of like having issues with this woman a little bit before. Like, they weren't like serious. She would ask me like, why do you need to lose weight? And I would be like, well, because I'm physically uncomfortable. It's not comfortable to be the weight that I am at. My knees hurt. I'm not even comfortable like laying down. I don't want to breathe heavy when I'm walking up a staircase, and I don't want to eat to the point where I'm physically sick anymore. But anyway, my whole thing was like, I felt like she didn't believe me that those were the reasons that I actually wanted to lose weight. Like, of course, I would love to look good, but I literally have no one to impress. And there's no reason that I would sit there and lie to you in therapy. Like, I'm here trying to be as honest as possible so we could get to the bottom of this in a timely fashion. Do you really think I want to like lie and keep spending money to not get better? No, like, I'm telling you the truth, man. But she kept like pushing this narrative on me of like, I need to be like my true authentic self, and wouldn't it be wonderful? And I'm like, I am my true authentic self, and my true authentic self is uncomfortable all of the time. But I kept feeling like she was just pushing this narrative on me that like it was bad to want to lose weight, and that like those weren't my true intentions. And I was like doubting myself so much because like, okay, here I am. I'm the one going to therapy, right? I'm the one with the disorder. I'm the one trying to seek help. This is the person that's going to help me. So I'm like, okay, I'm the one with the disordered mind here. Maybe, maybe these aren't my true intentions, right? Maybe. Is my ego just getting in the way? Is it me just needing to be right? So I went along with it, and I was like, okay, we'll try this. I'll stop trying to lose weight. I'll try my best. And then she tells me this bullshit, and I'm just like, why did I ever doubt myself? Me being physically uncomfortable and not feeling good and wanting to be more athletic, wanting to be, I don't know, healthy, because I know that I'm not. I feel like that should be okay. I mean, it's one thing if you hate yourself and you take the opinions of others and you're like, oh, I want to lose weight so this person will like me. That's problematic. But I feel if you want to change yourself for yourself, you should be able to. I don't know, but I'll get off of that tangent. But right now, I'm just feeling very conflicted because I feel like I should probably like report this in some way, tell someone about this, because now I feel like I have an obligation to other people. Because what if she tells someone to do that and they actually do that? And it's coming from someone who should be trusted, someone with that doctor before their name. And it's really bad advice, and I'm pretty pissed. So I don't know what to do about it. I requested another therapist. Luckily, BetterHelp makes it really easy. All you have to do is press that request a new therapist button if you're not vibing with yours or yours gives you really bad advice. Yeah, so super easy there. So I don't really have to worry about like trying to find a new one and like scrambling, it's gonna be taken care of for me. Yeah, it's just really disappointing. So I'm currently waiting for that to happen. That's where we are with all of that. But anyways, something good that whole experience happened with is I think that I'm starting to get negative emotions from binging. It's no longer bringing me comfort. If it's not helping me, then what's the point of it? So maybe now that I have negative feelings attached to it, because before I had like no shame whatsoever, no shame in my game about binging. It's just something I did to feel comfort, but now that it's not comforting, it might be easier to stop, I'm hoping. I just have to get rid of the habit now. I did think of another thing that I could try. It's kind of a little out there, but I'm actually really excited about it. So you guys know that I was like really interested in the brain and how it works and how we're wired and ways that we can manipulate it in order to get the results that we want. But I was thinking about this and I was like, what if we got my subconscious on board? Because I can't think of like the root problem to this because my conscious mind isn't really letting me in. I don't recall things, but the subconscious is supposed to pick up on, a lot of different things that you're not necessarily aware of. It compartmentalizes things, it protects you, right? So then I started thinking to myself, well, what about like hypnosis? So I Googled hypnotherapy near me and I found this one lady. I signed up and I had a phone consultation with her. She was explaining it to me and she's like, it's not all woo-woo like how people think. It's not like a hypnosis entertainment show where you're gonna be like barking like a dog and doing a bunch of things that you don't want to do. She said that being in trance would be the same thing as like when you're driving somewhere you've been a million times and when your brain just kind of like checks out and then all of a sudden you're there and you're like, how did I get here? How did I get here safely? That's being in a state of trance. I was like, oh, okay, like that's not so bad. She's like, you're gonna still be aware, you're gonna be safe, and I'm really just a facilitator for you to kind of mull over and fix your own problems. We're gonna suggest things to your subconscious mind so you have those new pathways. And then what really makes me think that this was like for me, she starts going into like the science behind it and telling me about like the brain. She mentions the amygdala. Basically, you know how I went in that whole science spiel in my last talk sit down video? I'll link it up here if you're curious. I like basically nerded out about the autonomic nervous system and neuroplasticity and all of these things, and she mentioned them, and I was like, if this isn't kismet, I don't know what is. My first hypnotherapy session is on Tuesday. I'm actually pretty excited about it, and honestly nervous because I'm afraid what's gonna come up. I'm kind of afraid that like I have repressed something that has happened to me, and there's a reason for the way that I am like so anxious, but at the same time I want to get better and I want to be healthy, so it's like I'm gonna do whatever I have to do, and I'm not gonna listen to any bullshit anymore. But anyways, you guys, I will keep you updated on the hypnotherapy because it's honestly pretty interesting and I'm very excited to know what happens. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.